Welcome back to BrightSide Tales, your sanctuary for healing, understanding and rediscovering the path to true sustainable happiness. Have you ever felt like you're sharing your life, your home, even your bed with a ghost? Someone physically present but emotionally gone. You tell yourself, this is love, this is commitment. But deep down, a chilling question echoes. Is holding on tearing you apart? Today we delve into a truth many of us wrestle with. Letting go at the right moment isn't just relief, it's a profound blessing. But clinging to the wrong person, that, my friends, can become a self-inflicted wound that festers into a karmic burden. Have you poured your heart out only to be met with a silence so deep it swallows your words? You've given more, compromised more, sacrificed pieces of yourself, hoping to reignite a spark that's long since faded. What you get back is an echoing emptiness and the gut-wrenching realization that you've lost yourself in the process. You believe holding on is an act of love, but could it be that you're unknowingly chaining yourself to suffering? What if letting go isn't about admitting defeat, but about choosing peace after enduring enough pain? And if you summon the courage to release that grip, what awaits you on the other side of this heartbreak? Before we explore this path together, I'd love to know, what's one sign that told you or is telling you now that a relationship dynamic needs to change? Share your wisdom in the comments below. And hey, if you're ready for this journey of insight, make sure you're subscribed to BrightSide Tales and hit that notification bell. Your presence here tells me you're ready for growth. Thank you for being part of this community. Imagine this: you're living with someone, yet you feel utterly alone. You're close enough to touch, but an invisible, icy wall stands between you. They're there, but their heart has already packed its bags and left. You share meals, but the silence is deafening. You sleep in the same bed, yet the distance between you feels like miles of frozen tundra. The home you built together now just feels like a beautifully decorated cage. There are no more tender glances, no gentle reassurances, no genuine, "How was your day?" It's all a performance, a hollow routine. You try to fan the flames, but a fire can't burn with only one person tending it. The most terrifying chill doesn't come from winter winds, but from the glacial silence in a love that's gone cold. Love rarely dies from a loud explosion of betrayal or a fiery argument. More often it fades quietly, starved by indifference. You can forgive almost anything except the soul-crushing feeling of being invisible to the person who once saw you as their everything. Remember sending that good morning text, a small ritual to keep the connection alive. But your messages now sit unread for hours, or worse, get a one-word dismissive reply. You tell yourself they're busy. You rationalize, "I'm overthinking." But let's be honest, no one is ever too busy for someone they truly cherish. When the passion is there, they move mountains to connect. When it's gone, every text feels like an imposition. Are you realizing that their silence is the answer you've been dreading? You're not waiting for a text anymore, are you? You're waiting for a flicker of the care they used to show. But some waits are in vain, because you're no longer on their priority list. You cook their favorite meal, the one they used to rave about. You pour your love into every ingredient. You set the table hoping for a spark of appreciation, a simple thank you. Instead, they pick at their food, lost in their phone, and leave the table like it's just another chore done. It's not anger you feel, but a vast, echoing emptiness. The warmth of shared meals has turned into the coldness of a forgotten dish. They're not avoiding the food, they're avoiding the connection. And the most painful part, you keep cooking, keep hoping, keep believing they'll look at you that way again. But the only thing they return to is the chair, not your heart. Their silence isn't just quiet, it's a deafening roar. It's not that they have nothing to say, it's that they no longer want to say it to you. You try to bridge the gap, they retreat further. This silence, it's sharper than any blade, making you feel like you're talking to a wall. You're not inadequate, they've simply checked out. Sometimes the cruelest goodbyes are the ones left unsaid. You share a cherished memory, something that once made you both laugh until you cried. Now they offer a polite, forced smile, an empty gesture. You laugh, trying to recapture that old magic to mask the tremor in your heart. But in that moment, you know, you're loving someone who isn't really there anymore, even if they're sitting right in front of you. There's nothing more agonizing than pouring your genuine emotion into someone who's merely playing a part. That forced smile. It's the alarm bell you keep hitting snooze on because you're not ready to wake up from a dream that's already turned into a nightmare. Is any of this resonating with the quiet whispers of your own experience? If these truths are hitting home, let us know in the comments. Perhaps just type, "I understand." And if this feels like a conversation you need to be a part of, ensure you're subscribed to BrightSide Tales. We believe in walking these paths together. Thank you for your courage. So why do we do it? Why do we cling so tightly to something that's clearly causing us pain? Often it's not love that keeps us there, but a deep-seated fear. Fear of the lonely dinner table. That simple act of eating alone. The table feels too big, the silence too loud. Even if the relationship was hollow, their presence filled a space. The clinking of cutlery can't replace shared laughter. This fear of solitary meals, this dread of echoing quiet, keeps many trapped in loveless charades. You're not just afraid of losing the person, you're afraid of losing the familiar, even if that familiar is painful. Fear of the empty house. Walking into a home where no one is waiting, no welcome back, no hum of another's presence. The key turns in the lock and you're met with nothing, just stillness. Home is meant to be a haven, a place of belonging. But when that belonging fades, the fear of returning to an empty shell can be paralyzing. Is this fear making you settle for a ghost just so you don't have to face the quiet? Remember, a person who stays without love can make a home feel colder than any empty room. Fear of sickness and old age, alone. This is a primal fear. Who will bring you soup when you're ill? Who will hold your hand if you're scared? Who will be there as the years advance? This terror of future vulnerability can make us accept present-day misery. We cling to the idea of a partner even if the reality is a vacant heart, but is a companion who offers no comfort, no care truly better than navigating life's challenges with your own strength and dignity. Sometimes being with the wrong person is the loneliest place of all. The sunk cost fallacy. I've invested too much. You've poured years, emotions, dreams, your very essence into this person. You've compromised, sacrificed, forgiven countless hurts. The thought of walking away now feels like admitting defeat, like all that investment was for nothing. You're not holding on because you love them. You're holding on because you mourn what you've given. But listen closely. Continuing to invest in a failing venture doesn't recoup your losses, it only deepens them. Every moment you stay tolerating neglect, you're devaluing your own worth. Love isn't a business transaction, it's a shared journey. If your partner has detoured, clinging will only break you further. Clinging to a ghost of the past, you replay the highlight reel, the first date, the laughter, the whispered promises. You surround yourself with relics of happier times, hoping that if you hold on to the past tightly enough, it will somehow resurrect the present. But you can't live in a museum of memories while life withers around you. Are you in love with the person in front of you, or a version of them that no longer exists? The delusion. They still care. They're just stressed, confused, busy. You become a detective searching for micro-expressions, for any sliver of evidence that their indifference isn't real. A non-committal grunt becomes, "They're listening." A rare, fleeting glance becomes, "See, they do care." You weave elaborate narratives to shield yourself from the painful truth you are no longer a priority. Hope is vital in love, but when you're the only one fueling it, it becomes delusion. Someone who truly loves you won't leave you guessing. Fear of judgment. What will people say? The shame. The fear of being seen as the one who got left. The failure. You curate an image of a perfect life, while behind closed doors your heart is crumbling. You cling to the relationship not for love, but for an audience. But whose life are you living? Theirs or yours? The opinions of others are fleeting. Your inner peace is paramount. There is no shame in choosing yourself, in walking away from what breaks you. The ultimate fear, admitting they no longer need you. This one cuts deep. To accept that someone who was once your world can now live perfectly fine, perhaps even better without you. It's a blow to the ego, a painful stripping away of perceived importance. You avoid this truth, blaming circumstances work anything but the stark reality. But whether you admit it or not, their disengagement is a clear message. Courage isn't always about holding on. Sometimes it's about the profound strength to nod and accept, "They don't need me anymore, and I will be okay." The more you fear, the tighter you grip. The tighter you grip, the more you suffocate what little remains, and the deeper you wound yourself. Love doesn't need to be fought for with such desperation. The right love stays not because it's chained, but because it wants to. Releasing a love that no longer serves you isn't failure. It's the ultimate act of self-respect. This is heavy stuff, Brightsiders. Which of these fears resonates most with you, or have you seen play out? Sharing your experience in the comments can be incredibly validating for others on this journey. And remember, subscribing to BrightSide Tales means you're choosing to explore these truths in a supportive space. We appreciate you. There comes a point when the pain of holding on surpasses the fear of letting go. This is where the magic begins. This is where you discover a strength you never knew you possessed. Letting go isn't a dramatic, explosive event. It's a quiet, internal revolution. You no longer crave explanations. Remember when you yearned for answers. Why did they change? Why the coldness? Why me? You wanted that final conversation, that admission, that closure. But you realize no explanation can mend a shattered heart when their actions have already screamed the truth. Their changed eyes, their indifferent touch. These are the only explanations you need. You let go not because you understand everything, but because you no longer need to. Some departures don't have neat reasons other than they simply no longer wanted to stay, and that in itself is enough. Acceptance. The end of a chapter. Not your story. Endings aren't always marked by slamming doors or tearful goodbyes. Sometimes things just dissolve. Quietly, you feel it in your bones. They're still there, but their heart is a distant land. You've tried, you've fought, you've hoped. Now, a profound stillness settles within you. Not resignation, but acceptance. You stop struggling, stop trying to rewind or repair. You accept not because love has died, but because you recognize that even love has limits. Letting go becomes the final respectful boundary you draw for both of yourselves. The stillness of non-pursuit. There was a time you chased, you yearned. Their coldness only fueled your efforts. Their retreat made you cling tighter. You believed one more try, one more grand gesture would bring them back. But you only exhausted yourself. Then one day you just stop. Not out of bitterness, but out of a deep, weary wisdom. You watch them walk away emotionally or physically, and the familiar panic doesn't rise. You stand still, silent, because you finally understand those who want to stay will. Those who want to leave will find a way, no matter how tightly you hold on. Letting go isn't about releasing them. It's about releasing the storm within you. You choose peace over pursuit. The awakening loving wrong is hurting yourself. You once believed your unwavering love could conquer all, that your devotion could change them, heal them, keep them. But you realize now loving someone who consistently hurts you, neglects you, or doesn't value you is a betrayal, not of them, but of yourself. You've been abandoning your own needs to cater to a bottomless pit. Looking back, the most terrifying betrayal wasn't theirs. It was how you betrayed your own well-being by staying too long with someone unworthy. Letting go is when you finally start cherishing yourself, understanding that your peace is more precious than any toxic attachment. Self-compassion, becoming your own soft place to land. You can't always rely on others to wipe your tears. You've cried silent cries, hidden your pain, yearned for a comforting embrace that never came or felt hollow when it did. You longed for them to notice your weariness, but they were too absorbed in their own world. And so you learn. You stop waiting for warmth from a cold hearth. You begin gently to offer it to yourself. You breathe deeply. You tell yourself, it's okay, I'm here for me. Letting go is when you stop seeking external validation and start kindling your own inner fire. It's stepping out of the cold and into the nascent warmth of your own resilient heart. Reclaiming dignity, no more begging for scraps. Their attention was your oxygen, a kind glance, a fleeting touch. These were life rafts. But as they became scarce, you found yourself pleading for them, for a hug, for a moment of their time, for a scrap of affection. But love, true love, is never begged for. It's freely given. When you have to plead for basic kindness, you're bartering your self-respect for illusions. You finally understand no one can diminish you without your permission. Letting go is when you stand tall again, refusing to stoop for crumbs when you deserve a feast. You turn inward towards the quiet, unshakable wellspring of your own worth. The lightness of being, the agony of waiting ends. You lived in a state of suspended animation, phone in hand, heart leaping at every notification only to sink when it wasn't them. The constant checking, the rereading of old messages, the hope, followed by the inevitable letdown. It was a roller coaster of anxiety, but one day you notice you haven't checked your phone in hours. You feel lighter. The incessant chatter of what if and maybe in your head quiets down. This newfound peace, independent of anyone else's actions, is intoxicating. Letting go is when you stop waiting for their message and start listening to your own soul. Your smile returns, authentically yours. There was a time your happiness was a reflection of theirs. They smiled, you beamed. They were distant, your world dimmed. Your emotional thermostat was controlled by their whims. But as you release the unhealthy bond, you find reasons to smile that are entirely your own. The morning sun, a perfectly brewed coffee, a song on the radio, the kindness of a stranger. Your smile is no longer a performance or a plea. It's a genuine expression of your returning spirit. You realize you'd lost yourself in their shadow. Now stepping into your own light, you smile because you are. Relearning independence, you are whole. You'd grown accustomed to we. Shared routines, decisions, a life intertwined. The thought of I was terrifying. Who would you be without them? But as they withdrew, you were forced to reclaim those spaces. At first it's daunting, then empowering. You make your own plans, solve your own problems, enjoy your own company. You realize that loneliness isn't being alone. Loneliness is being with someone who makes you feel alone. Standing on your own 2 feet, you discover a resilience you never knew. Letting go is rediscovering your completeness. Growth from scars, peace forged in yesterday's tears. You cried oceans, for their harsh words, their neglect for loving so much and receiving so little. Each tear was a lesson etching wisdom onto your heart. You stumbled, you nearly broke, you thought you couldn't survive without them. But you did. Quietly, without fanfare, you grew stronger in the broken places. And then peace arrives, softly like morning mist, but undeniably real. Letting go isn't an end, it's a metamorphosis. You emerge not unscathed, but whole, with a heart that knows how to love wisely, starting with itself. This journey of letting go and finding yourself again is so personal, yet so universal. What's one small act of self-love you've rediscovered or started practicing after a tough time? Share it below. Your strength is inspiring, and if BrightSide Tales is becoming a helpful companion on your path, please consider subscribing and sharing this video with someone who might need to hear it. We're building a community of wisdom here together. After the storm of letting go, a new landscape emerges. It's the journey back to you. It's about making peace with solitude and discovering the quiet joy of your own company. The calm of unanswered phones and unsent texts. Remember the anxiety, the constant checking. Now your phone can lie untouched for hours. A peculiar calm settles in. The silence is no longer a void of their absence, but a space filled with your own presence. You're not waiting, not anticipating, not deciphering cryptic replies. You're just being. This isn't just about detaching from them. It's about reattaching to your own inner peace. You're rediscovering the symphony of your own thoughts when they're not drowned out by the noise of a dying connection. One cup of tea brewed perfectly for one. You used to make two, didn't you? One for them, often untouched, growing cold, like the space between you. A daily ritual of hope and quiet disappointment. Now you brew one cup, mindfully, just the way you like it. You savor it alone, not in loneliness, but in peaceful solitude. Each sip is an affirmation, I am enough. This moment is enough. You're no longer trying to fill an emotional void with someone else's presence. You're nourishing yourself from within. Clearing space. Clearing your heart. That old t-shirt of theirs, the shared mug, the photos tucked away. Reminders of a chapter now closed. For so long you couldn't touch them, afraid of disturbing the ghosts. But one day you open the windows, let the light in, and begin. You sort, you discard, you cleanse. As the physical clutter clears, you feel an undeniable lightness in your spirit. This isn't about erasing memories, it's about making space for new life, new air, new light within your soul. A tidy room becomes a metaphor for a healing heart. Old songs, new feelings, smiling through past tears. Those songs, the ones that were your songs, the ones that used to instantly bring a fresh wave of pain. You'd skip them, avoid them, but one day you let one play, and something's different. The melody is the same, the lyrics unchanged, but the sharp edges of grief have softened. A gentle melancholy, perhaps, or even a faint, wistful smile. You're not forgetting, you're integrating. The music hasn't changed, you have. You're healing, and that's a beautiful sound. Morning gratitude, a new day, a new you. Waking up used to be a reminder of what was missing, an empty space beside you, a silent phone. Now you wake up and the first thought isn't of loss, but of possibility. You stretch, you breathe, you feel the sun on your skin. A quiet thank you forms in your heart. Thank you for this new day. Thank you for the strength that got you here. Thank you for the chance to be truly, authentically yourself. Letting go wasn't just about leaving them, it was about rejoining the flow of your own life. Reclaiming weekends from emptiness to enrichment weekends. They used to be the hardest. Reminders of couples doing couple things while you felt adrift. The hours stretched filled with a quiet ache. But now, you fill them with you. A book you've longed to read, a nature walk, a creative project learning something new, or simply the profound joy of doing nothing without guilt. Solitude transforms from a threat into a cherished opportunity for self-connection. You realize that loneliness isn't the enemy. Feeling disconnected from yourself is. Unearthing buried dreams. It's your time. Now that class you wanted to take, that trip you dreamed of, that passion project you shelved because they weren't interested, or there wasn't time, now is the time. You pick up the dusty guitar, you book the solo trip, you enroll in the workshop, you realize how much of your life was put on hold, waiting for someone else's approval or participation. Letting go ignites a spark. Your life is yours to design. Those small acts of pursuing your own interests are powerful medicine for a healing soul. The mirror's reflection, seeing life in your own eyes. There were days you avoided your reflection, seeing only sadness, exhaustion, a dimmed light. But as you heal, as you reconnect, you catch your eye in the mirror, and there it is. A spark, a flicker of the person you used to be, or perhaps the person you are becoming. Your eyes hold a new clarity, a quiet strength. This isn't a reflection of someone else's love. This is the glow of your own returning spirit. And it's beautiful. Inner peace. The unshakable anchor. Your emotional state was once a ship tossed on the waves of their moods. Their approval was sunshine, their displeasure a storm. Now a new stability takes root. People will come, people will go. Life will bring joys and challenges. But your core, your center remains steadfast. You find peace not because someone else provides it, but because you've cultivated it within yourself. This is true freedom. From lonely to all one, the sufficiency of self. The greatest illusion is that being alone equals being lonely. True loneliness, you've learned, is being with someone yet feeling utterly disconnected. Now in your solitude, you find a rich companionship with yourself. You are enough. Your thoughts are enough. Your presence is enough. You no longer seek to fill a void with another, because you've realized the only void was the disconnect from your own soul. And you, my friend, have come home to yourself. This isn't loneliness. This is glorious, self-sufficient, radiant aloneness. This journey of coming home to yourself is incredibly powerful. What's one thing you've started doing for yourself again that brings you a sense of peace or joy? Your story could be the spark someone else needs. Please share in the comments. And if BrightSide Tales feels like a guiding light on your path, hit subscribe and the bell. We release new insights like this regularly, aiming to be that gentle voice of wisdom in your day. Beyond the personal pain and healing, there's a larger, almost cosmic wisdom to letting go at the right time. It's about understanding the flow of life, the lessons we're here to learn, and the energies we invite or repel. Some souls are teachers, not lifelong companions. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to build a future with you. Some arrive to deliver a specific lesson about your strength, your boundaries, your worth, or what you truly desire in a partner. They might bring pain, upheaval, confusion, but through that turmoil you evolve. Their purpose might not be to love you forever, but to awaken you to a deeper love for yourself. Clinging to them after the lesson is learned is like refusing to leave the classroom after the bell has rung. You miss the next more beautiful experience awaiting you. Holding the wrong person is like cradling fire. You know they're not right. Their indifference burns. Their words sting. Their absence, even when present, is a constant ache. Yet you hold on out of habit, fear, or a misguided sense of loyalty. This is like clutching a burning coal. You think you're being strong, resilient. In reality, you're slowly incinerating your own spirit. Each day you stay, You allow the flames to consume a little more of your light. Letting go, though it singes initially, is the only way to save yourself from complete devastation. The universe isn't punishing you by making you let go. It's often trying to save you from a prolonged, agonizing burn. Early release prevents deeper wounds and wasted years. Hindsight is 20/20, isn't it? If only you'd listened to that inner voice sooner, you might have avoided months, even years of heartache. Procrastinating the inevitable, making excuses, hoping against hope, it all just prolongs the suffering. Each day spent in a loveless, draining connection is a day stolen from your potential happiness, your growth, your peace. Letting go at the right time isn't quitting. It's a strategic retreat to preserve your most precious resource, your life force. It's choosing a swift, clean break over a slow, agonizing erosion of your soul. The universe abhors a vacuum, but loves an open door. When you courageously release what's no longer serving you, you create space, space for healing, space for growth, and yes, space for new, healthier connections to enter. The universe doesn't take away without the potential to give something better in return. But you must be willing to open your hand and let go of the old before you can receive the new. A heart cluttered with resentment, regret, and attachment to the past has no room for future blessings. Sometimes the person leaving is the universe's way of clearing the path for who you're meant to become and who is meant for you. Their departure can be your salvation. You might feel abandoned, rejected. You might curse their name, lament your fate. But what if their leaving, as painful as it is actually a hidden blessing? What if by staying they would have dragged you further into dysfunction, unhappiness, or a life that stifled your true potential? Sometimes the tragedy of a breakup is actually a divine intervention, a course correction saving you from a far greater, unseen hardship down the line. Breaking the karmic knot, releasing yourself and them. When you cling to someone who isn't right or who doesn't want to be there, you're not just hurting yourself. You're creating a tangled, energetic knot. Resentment, obligation, guilt, unspoken anger. These create heavy, negative karmic ties that can bind both of you in unhealthy patterns, possibly for lifetimes. Letting go with grace, or at least with a decision for your own well-being, is an act of profound energetic hygiene. It cuts the unhealthy cords, freeing not only you, but also them to move forward, hopefully towards healthier experiences. You choose to stop co-creating suffering. When you cling to wrong, blessings can't enter. Imagine blessings as guests waiting at your door. If your house, your heart, your mind, your energy is already overcrowded with the drama, pain, and obsession of a wrong relationship, there's simply no room for anything good to come in. Your focus is entirely consumed. Letting go clears the space. It airs out the rooms of your soul. Only when you dare to release, to cleanse, to find peace within yourself, do you become a welcoming beacon for the true blessings life has in store. The universe doesn't force gifts upon a closed fist or a barricaded heart. So don't see letting go as a failure or a loss. See it as an alignment, an act of courage, a sacred clearing. You are choosing your peace, your growth, and your future. You are making room for the blessings, the positive karma, the light, to finally find its way to you. My dear Brightsiders, navigating these emotional waters is never easy. If you've walked this path of holding on too long, or if you're standing at that crossroads right now, know that you are not alone. The journey from clinging in fear to releasing in wisdom is one of the most profound transformations we can experience. It's not about losing someone. It's about finding yourself, perhaps, for the very first time. Remember, a person leaving your life doesn't diminish your worth. It often redirects you to your own strength, your own light. your own sacred duty to love and honor yourself. To truly let go is a sign of incredible spiritual maturity. To turn back from a path of suffering is the beginning of true blessing. If this message has touched a part of your story, if it has offered even a sliver of clarity or comfort, I would be so grateful if you'd let me know in the comments. What's one truth from today's talk that you'll carry with you? Your words might be exactly what another Brightsider needs to read today. And if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to BrightSide Tales, and click that notification bell. We gather here regularly, new wisdom drops often, creating a space for mindful reflection and shared growth. Think of BrightSide Tales as your companion, a gentle voice, reminding you of the incredible power and wisdom that resides within you. Thank you for your time, your courage, and your beautiful presence. Until next time, be kind to yourself and trust the journey. You are stronger than you think.